this computer.
Oh, good evening. How
Well,
are
hello.
you?
I forgot
Hello.
what you look like.
Yeah, well, I forgot what you look like. No, I would never do that. Friends don't do that.
It has been a while.
Yes, it has.
We had a really
Well,
good run there, seeing each other, and then
we
the
did.
holidays hit.
Everything hit. And a
Boo.
snowstorm. Well, anyway, I'm Nancy Smith. This is Just Our Take.
I'm Danny Ingves.
Welcome. Welcome. This has
It's
been
been
a
a
long
while.
time coming for this episode.
Yep.
Very long time coming. And life got in the way, but we have lots to talk about and we're right in the throes of it. So this is going to be a good topic. Women in menopause, men with women in menopause, men, young women starting at 35 years old, going straight through 65 years old. This episode is for you. This episode is paying homage to the reality of menopause and life and how we
You
feel.
made it sound nicer than it actually is, because it sucks.
Yeah, it really does. It really truly does. And I have to tell some stories about that when we get into the mix. But I want to also get the disclaimer out of the way because it's kind of funny. We always do the disclaimer, and a lot of times we're like, well, this isn't medical advice. Nobody ever thinks of it as medical advice. But this topic does have some medical tendencies, obviously. So I figured, you know what? Let's make sure no one's going to take this like written to the T and believe everything we're saying and just simply listen to our
And
take.
sue our asses for making them feel better.
Yeah, only if it's good. Only if it's good,
Only
come
if
at me. Come at me, bro. Come at me, bro, or
come
sis.
at me.
All right, well, let's get the disclaimer out of the
Okay.
way. But let's just say this podcast is not to be used for a professional or medical guide, but rather a place to share our experiences, realities, joys, and woes. And this is just our take. This should not take the place of a medical expert. Straight out, this is just how we feel and what we've been doing on our menopause journey. So,
Yes, I have the urge to say word.
yeah, right. Yeah. So anyway, I just think this is a really important topic, and
Yeah.
I think this is going to have to be part one of maybe part two, three, and four. But I think let's just start to touch on it and introduce where we're coming from. I'm 56, going on 57 in approximately 2 weeks. You're 54.
Right.
Are you
Right.
54?
Newly 54.
Oh, you're 54.
November 54.
Well, anyway, anyway,
I just think it's
anyway,
really that's really, really important.
yeah. Now you know. Yeah, I'll always be older. Can't
You will
change that,
always
but that's
be
okay
older.
because we're both in the same situation, and I can
Yeah.
imagine. Oh, you know what I just thought of?
Hmm.
I have to make sure the right microphone is being used. Hold on a minute.
Our
Yes.
IT department is the worst.
Honest to God, right? Isn't it the worst? I don't even know. I don't even know if this is right. Is what type of microphone am I using? I don't even know. Who the heck knows? Who knows? Whoops. Whoops. That was a sad, droopy microphone. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Okay. Who knows? Who
You're
knows how
cracking
we
me
sound?
up.
Who knows how we sound? Okay. Well, anyway, let's get back to the fun. All
Okay.
right. So
Wait,
I'm going
wait,
to.
before we get moving, like let's talk about fun. What you drinking?
Oh, what are you drinking?
Well, I put a little wine in here, but do you love my new cup?
Are
I'm sorry,
you?
my new glass. This thing is so heavy.
Oh
See my
my
little football?
gosh.
See my little football?
Yeah.
How
What kind of
cute is
glass is
that?
it? Like a water? It's just a regular, like a tumbler or something, right?
Yes, but
That's
it's
pretty
super heavy.
though.
My niece Haley found them on her company, and it's gonna be terrible that I can't remember their anthropology. So one of her companies
Oh,
that because she works for, and so she found these. She's like, Aunt Annie, you're gonna love these. So we ordered them, and I was like, I was still, it's green. I was still a little pissy that I didn't know if I wanted a green cup because I was a little mad at the Eagles. But when she brought them over on Saturday, and I opened them up, and they just exceeded my expectation because it's heavy
wow.
and it's gorgeous
Yeah.
and it's
They look like they're
glass
really
and
good
football
quality.
flavor.
That's great.
Yeah.
So what are
So,
you
and I got a
drinking?
little wine in there. So I have
Oh,
no food in me, so I might be drunk before the episode's over. So,
whoa. Okay, well, good. So that's gonna put it to a new level. So it's my turn too, and I'm gonna put out my drink. Ooh,
okay. Cheers. Oh, wait, what's it
cheers.
say? What's it say?
It says, "What you
What?
drinking?"
No,
Yeah,
wait,
but what? Now,
what?
now,
Where
wait
did
a
you
minute.
find what you drinking?
It says, "What you drinking?" This is compliments of Ethan's girlfriend, one of my favorite people, Joy. You know, our media design person.
Yes.
Yes, Joy made
Woo-hoo,
this for me for
Joy.
Christmas. Thank you, Joy.
No, she did not.
She
That,
did.
and it's nice and big. Let
No,
me
isn't
see
that
that
great?
again. Oh, I love it. All right. All right.
Mm.
Cheers. Let's do that
Cheers.
again.
Cheers to
Cheers.
you. Thank you, Joy. Thanks for my beautiful glass. And to you.
Mm. Yeah, I'm gonna be
Mm.
drunk.
Oh my goodness. Oh, that's good.
Mm.
Oh, that's tasty. What you
So
drinking?
have you drank out of that since, or is this your
No,
first
this is
time?
the first time I had, and I was waiting for our next episode to use it. So
I
this is
love
my Christmas
it. I
gift. Isn't it
love it.
cool? It's
I
kind
didn't
of
even
back.
drink out of this glass yet. I'm always saving them to like what I
It's
got.
it's backwards, but it
But
says what
that,
you drinking.
but you beat
What
me
you
in that one.
drinking? Oh my
I
goodness.
love it. Good job, Joy.
Joy did great. So I did have a very nice holiday season. I have to say I'm very happy that it's behind us. I mean, it is obviously going into February, so
Yeah.
no rush to get it behind us, even though now we get the snow.
Yeah,
So
I'm over it
anyway,
all.
oh yeah. So we both made some good decisions, and let's get into it. I mean, the topic tonight is menopause,
Hmm.
and the struggle is real, and the solutions, or maybe a solution for you. Maybe it's not.
I wouldn't change a thing. And I would have to say, so my own little personal journey is that I did not, I've always had like a really low body temperature. So I was like, hot flashes are never going to hit me, blah, 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 blah. I always sleep like a rock. I've never had a problem. It wasn't until maybe the end of the summer, I don't know, some point last year, I start to feel like, for lack of a better word, like dead inside, but nobody else would have noticed, but I noticed. And I was like, what's happening? But I just ignored it because I was so stressed at work and I thought it's perfect. I don't feel anything because I don't like to feel anything anyway. I don't feel anything. It's awesome. I've got my head, good head on my shoulders because I'm not stressed out at all. I was just constantly like this. And so, but then it just kept getting worse. And then there was different little symptoms where then my hot flashes started. And it wasn't every day. It was like couple days a week, and then it just got worse. And then
Is that why you stopped
random.
drinking wine, though? I mean, I know you.
No, because I don't drink wine usually all summer anyway, because I drink something else. But I just
Mhm.
was feeling crappy, so I didn't drink a lot anyway. I think we were starting to drink
Did it
margaritas and
make it
stuff.
worse? Did alcohol make it
I do
worse?
think that the alcohol was making it worse. Yes, because I feel like I was constantly dehydrated. So not only was I having hot flashes, but then I wasn't sleeping. I was waking up and not always with
Mhm.
hot flashes, but I just wasn't sleeping great.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what the hell? That's not me. I could sleep on concrete. So I just started noticing these different things. But then when my Grace came home, and I might have said this in a different podcast, when my Grace came home just for like 24 hours to do a show with Ella at the Ritz, which is, our home away from home, just do a performance where it was a sisterly performance. And I wouldn't say I didn't feel nothing. Like I was like, oh, this was awesome. This was sweet. I didn't cry. I didn't fill up. And I was like, my debt is to another level. But then, so that was probably September, October. And then it just kept getting worse. And I
Mhm.
just started to feel yucky, felt like dry and miserable. But no one apparently on the outside knew that was happening, which was I thought was interesting because I would say I would feel somebody and they'd be like, "Wait, I can't even tell," and you seem so level-headed and all this, and I wasn't lashing out, so I didn't have any of that.
I don't know if I didn't notice. I noticed. I mean, I don't know if I would have said you were dead inside, but you weren't yourself.
It was just I wasn't feeling things. I just was just yep, whatever. I don't care, and just dealing with it, which was good because last year was a very very stressful year with work. But and then we went to see The Outsiders, and I
Hmm.
didn't cry, and I was like, hmm.
Yeah. That's
Everybody else
certainly an
cried. My
interesting
husband filled
flag.
up. I don't know if he cried, but everybody, and I was like, okay, this is weird. So I started to think, and then there was just some other changes inside of just physical stuff that I was just like, ugh, this is yucky. This is gross. I'm not myself. So I knew my sister-in-law had started them, and then she had told me a personal story about one of her
Wait a minute.
friends.
Wait a minute. Let
Remember,
me
I
back
think
up.
I
Let's
told you
back
that.
up for a minute. Yeah, let's back up for a minute. Let's talk what we're talking about. I mean, you're talking about HRT. You're talking about starting them, meaning starting hormonal replacement therapy,
So
right? So
yeah,
then I'll
well,
let you.
yes, but I hadn't started anything. This was all before it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And so we were building up, and Darcy, yes, I'm sorry. So you mean for Darcy. So she on her own did some research. Now Darcy's a nurse. She's my go-to for anything. For nurse wise, I really, really, really trust her with all the medical knowledge I have. I'm not a nurse, so I go to her for a lot of stuff. And so her and I were talking, and then she's sending me texts and
Mhm.
saying she went ordered some HRTs and she used an online
Mhm.
um place where you actually talk to a doctor, but she found one where you didn't have to do a face to face with a doctor, where you could just do an intake. and all this, and still talk to a doctor, but like do it like through the computer as opposed to face to face. So she liked this one. So then she was trying to build the courage up to do it. So she was sending me and her good friend, should I do it? Should I do it? And we're like, do it, do it, do it, do it. Like I was like, you're being my guinea pig. You do it, I'll do it. She's younger than me. You do it, and I'll do it next. So she was really liking, she started it. And so by Thanksgiving, she was already a couple of months in and she was like, I'm not going back. She loved the way it make you feel. So we literally got to Thanksgiving and I said, can you pull up the app that you used? So she did it. Not only that, but the first question is, do you know what you want to take? So I said, Darce, what do I want? She filled everything
Mhm.
in
Mhm.
and then the doctor looks at it, reviews it, and obviously you want to answer all of your questions correctly. So you get the right treatment and you also don't die because it's you got something else that they don't know about. So then they ask you a bunch of questions, you fill this all out, then they review it. It takes them a couple of days to review it. In
Mhm.
my case, they accepted the two things that I wanted and then added something else. And I was like, okay. Then I waited. So the stuff came like a week or so later, but then I waited till I had to get my colonoscopy. I finally got that done. So I got that done. I waited till the morning after to start it. And I am telling you, I haven't had a hot flash since the day I put that patch on. Very low
Hmm.
dose. It's progesterone at 100 milligrams at bedtime and estrogen. Um,
Estradiol. Estradiol.
yeah, I meant to bring it here while we're here.
Point zero
And it,
two five. Point zero two
no,
five.
mine is a point zero five zero or point zero five. Damn,
Hmm.
I'm the worst. I have to look at it again. But really low dose, changing it twice a week. I, I will
Oh, you
never go
change
back.
it twice a week. You don't do it
Yeah.
once a week.
No, I change it twice a week. You pick 2 days and you do it. I'm like a Saturday and Wednesday type of thing.
And
Yeah.
it's transdermal. Transdermal,
Yeah.
correct?
Yep. And
So, I mean,
so,
before you get into too much of that, unless I'm cutting you off, you want to
no,
finish
I
your.
mean, I will never go back. Within the
Well,
first
let's
7 days, I felt amazing.
Well, I want to hear more about that. But what
Hmm.
what I want to know is did you know the research and the history and the problems that were associated with HRT before you decided to do it?
I,
For
I
instance,
did.
the
I did.
cancers, the blood clots. I mean, did you know
Yes.
what you read before? Okay, because
Yes. And I knew
I
there
had
was all these warnings. And so Darcy and I had been talking about it for years. Like, what do you think about it? Will you ever want to do HRTs? And I was like, I don't know. I didn't give it much thought. Honestly, I didn't need it, so I hadn't really thought about it. But I knew the research was out there. I knew there was this black box warning on this
and they had
medication that it could
stopped it.
cause strokes and
And
all
they had
that.
stopped it. I mean, they stopped it back in what, like the early 2000s. They had
Yeah.
stopped doing, well, prior to that, they had
Yeah.
stopped really administering
Yeah.
HRT because they were dead set that it was causing breast cancers or other
Right.
issues as well. So I remember at that time, my sister-in-law had decided to use it, and I was just out of my mind. I couldn't believe that she was doing that. And I was so upset. And I hope I'm not divulging too much information, but I was appalled at the time because I don't you know they're so dangerous, they're so dangerous. So, and the only reason why I say that now is because research has been done since then.
Finally.
And
Finally.
and
Finally
there's
for
plenty of
for women.
research out there that's showing that now, if you're getting the proper doses, which would be smaller, and if you do both, you do progesterone and you do estrogen,
Hmm.
particularly if you have a uterus,
Hmm.
then you would need to do both. Because if you don't, you would maybe have breakthrough bleeding or
Right.
issues if you just took estrogen, which would be a problem.
Right.
So the deal is that you do and then they said there's a small increase in maybe breast cancers or other issues. Now, if you're high risk or if you've already had breast cancer, that's concerning.
Sure.
What I did read was if you never had breast cancer or you wouldn't have breast cancer, it's not going to create breast cancer out of the blue. It's not like you can take estrogen and progesterone hormonal replacement therapy and that only is going to cause, from my understanding and my research, that that is not alone. It can accelerate if you already have cells or you already have issues. Yes, it can accelerate that. Now, you know me, I worry about everything like that. And that's something that's really kind of held me up. And I used to hear bioidentical. Well, bioidentical is only a term that we would use. It's not a term that a physician would use, but it sounds better. Bioidentical. Okay, that sounds like it's just identical.
Right.
And then you hear these comments, and I don't know if you've ever seen Dr. Mary Claire Haver. Dr. Mary Claire Haver is our age. She's 55, and she's a gyno obstetrician. And she'll do a lot of social media. She is a huge proponent of HRT, and she uses it herself. She's done the HRT therapy. She's done the estradiol. She's done the progesterone. She's done small doses of testosterone. She's very, very clear about the research that she has done as a physician and with her patients. And why are we suffering? Why are women suffering? Why are we going through what we're going through when in fact there's something there? People came back at her saying, well, the cancer, women die. First of all, 100 years ago, women didn't go through menopause because they didn't live long enough.
Right, for
We
sure.
live longer now. And they're seeing so many benefits. Not only do they maybe not cause cancer, but they can prevent cancers, something like colon cancers and other cancers in your body. There's some research being shown that the estrogens that you take that you can try to keep up later in life are protecting you against certain cancers. So these are things that you have to know before you do it. Is it right for everyone? Absolutely not. Are you
No,
high
no,
risk for
everyone
blood
has to
clotting?
figure out what's right for them. And
Right. And
yeah.
they're saying,
Hmm.
and
Hmm.
I think they were saying when you take certain pills, that would raise your risk for maybe clotting. But if you're doing transdermal and the low dose, the risk of any kind of blood clotting or any type of thing related to that, strokes, God forbid, are very low, if not nil. So
Yeah.
there's so many. I mean, it helps your joints, it helps your bones, it helps your muscles, helps
That
your
was the
brain
other thing,
fog.
Nancy. I
That's what I
had
wanted it for.
when I
Brain
got
fog.
out of bed in the morning, one of the things I started noticing is like, listen, I know I'm not a spring chicken, um, but I started noticing over like 6 months, the most random things. Then I started to put it to all together that it was all starting to happen at the same time. Like when I got out of bed, I couldn't get out of bed, walk to the steps, and go down the steps. My heels were so tight and hurt
Yeah.
so bad that
Hmm.
I had to like walk down the steps. And I started thinking about like my in-laws who we just had to move them to one floor and like, oh my God. I'm 54. Is this happening now? So I couldn't put it together. So then I started, reading more, like all the different things, like, oh my God, these weird aches and pains, this, the stomach,
All
I eat the
connected.
same, all
Hmm.
of that affects it. All these little things I can put together that was happening to me last year when I was completely fine. And then little by
Yeah.
little, this and this and this, I'm
Hmm.
telling you, by Christmas, even before that. I started it. So I was on it by like 3 weeks by Christmas. I had no issues. My ankles were completely fine. I was getting Charlie horses like crazy last year, just sitting
Hmm.
watching TV and all of a sudden my leg would cramp up. I'm like, what the
Hmm.
hell? I take all kinds of supplements, the magnesium, the potassium. I make sure I eat all that. I do all the things I'm supposed to, enough water, this and that. None of it mattered. I was
Yeah.
losing so much estrogen. I don't know that I lost it all so quickly, but it all finally hit me at that point.
Hmm.
Um, so by now I can get up, I don't have to sit in bed, like slowly move down. I can walk down steps like a 54-year-old, which
Yeah.
is huge. But it was
Yeah.
something I didn't think of. And it was just all those little pieces together. And then I didn't realize all the
Well,
different things I was having a problem
it's
with until I
interesting
took
too.
it.
Well, it's interesting too because a lot of women think they have to be in menopause before they start taking this
Right.
supplemental, and that's not true either.
Right.
So, if you watch any of Dr. Mary Claire Haver, she'll go on to say that if you're a woman at 35, you're going to realize that it's very possible. Like the average woman, I think I'm going to say the average woman goes through menopause, I'm going to say at 51. So
Okay.
10 years before, 10 years
Hmm.
after, that time
Yeah.
frame
Yeah.
is when you're
It's a
going to
big
be
range. Sure.
feeling right. It's a big range.
Hmm.
So if you think about 10 years before, I mean 41 or maybe even a little younger, you're going to start feeling the symptoms. I know it hit me at 38 that my hormonal changes started at 38 and I became a totally entirely different person. I mean, the stress level was through the roof, the anxiety was through the roof. And I started going through all these issues and and I don't know if I felt dead inside. I think it was more anxious than dead inside. And I mean, at that point, the doctor's like, "Well, we should put you on maybe an antidepressant, or we should do this, and we should." And as I started to research more, I went, I think it's really hormonally related. Not to say that my family isn't prone to anxiety, which I've always had,
Sure.
or maybe depression. Not to say
Somebody
that
who
that
doesn't
could
have
be.
anxiety. Right.
And I am not saying that that isn't the case, but I knew at that time I had to change everything in my life, which gave up. I mean, I gave up everything. I gave up, I gave up caffeine. I gave up too much sugar. I gave up. Then I started working out more, started doing everything to prevent what I thought was causing, and it did help for a period of time.
Yeah.
But then came 54, 55, and at that point, I couldn't keep up with it. It just exceeded everything I was doing. So now we have a problem. I'm doing everything I think I should be doing.
Hmm.
I did notice I would not get a hot flash. I don't get a lot of hot flashes anyway, but I wouldn't get a hot flash if I didn't do sugar or it'd be less. If I did less caffeine, I felt better. If I did, but then I think everything becomes a snowball effect. And I think that so at that point, when you and I talked, or maybe before that, I had started doing some research. I'm not done my research yet, and I'm not completely sure that it's going to be for me.
So
Uh,
you didn't
I,
start the medication. You
I
got it,
did.
but you did
No, I
not.
did. Oh no, I
Oh,
started.
you
I'm on
did.
three. I'm
Okay.
3 weeks in. Um, I'm 3 weeks in, and
The
mine's
same
like once
things
a
that
week.
I'm doing, the progesterone and the
Progesterone 100 and the estradiol is like 0.025. So I guess it's less than you're doing. And it's once a week, transdermal. No like estrogen cream, like vaginal cream or
So
anything
they
like
gave
that.
me that, but I don't really need that now. I have it, which is great. I've used it a couple times, but I don't. They were like every other day. I'm like, yeah, that's not gonna happen. So,
Yeah. And I didn't
but I
find,
do
I
have
mean,
that.
not that I say that that's my biggest worry. Sexual stuff is not
Right,
where I felt that inside per se.
right.
I mean, I may not be jumping through hoops, but overall, that's not my issues are in general are just the feeling of dread. You just have, and I think you have to look at everything too. It's like the perfect storm. At our age, you're dealing with your children leaving, you're dealing with your own aging. Kind of sucks if you don't, if you like to be young and you're getting older. You're dealing with parents, which I'm certainly
Right.
dealing with, helping with both my
Yep.
parents.
Yep.
Job issues, which, it's a perfect storm that's coming about that. So all of that coming together in conjunction with the change in
Hmm.
our or my particular hormonal levels. I mean, I wasn't, thankfully, I wasn't on the edge. I wasn't a donkey on the edge, but definitely not myself and definitely not like likable. Like, I don't like certain things. I don't. So for me, if it would make me feel better, and actually the biggest thing I can think of is brain fog because I would find, because I'm doing a new job now, I have a whole different job at work and I'm learning it. Well, I'm telling you, as quick as I was in my previous position in my program that I ran for nearly 20 years, I just, it just was like, I'm not catching on to this as fast as I think I should, at least for me. Thankfully, that I've seen the biggest change in.
Okay, so that's
That
good.
has,
I didn't notice
that
the brain
has,
fog, but I haven't had a chance to notice brain fog, to be honest with
well,
you.
but that's
Because
good.
I just go, 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 and then go to bed. So I haven't
Yeah,
noticed.
but
Maybe it's
how
there,
about
but I don't.
functioning at work? How about functioning at work?
I just I just function at one level, and I haven't noticed the brain fog. I
Oh,
noticed
that's
that I'm
great.
more tired than usual. But
Oh,
I also
okay.
think now that you bring it up, I think that not last year, but like the year before, the last 2 years before that, I had issues with like feeling anxiety where I never did, where I would get that pain in my chest. And I
Oh, I
never used
remember
to
you
have that
saying that.
before. So that
Yes.
I got that under control, but I didn't have that really last year with all the stress with last year with the job changing um and the class and all the retirements and all kinds of stuff. I never once had the anxiety, which I again like that, but now even on the medicine, I'm still like this. Like somebody
No,
said
you
today,
just said you felt you had anxious moments, though. You felt like you had anxious moments.
"Mm, no, I don't think so.
That's what
I
you
don't
were
think I
saying.
said
Like
that. I don't think
you
I said
said
that.
you.
Oh, a couple years ago, not
Yeah.
2025,
Oh,
not
not 2025.
2025.
Got you.
Yeah,
Okay. Okay.
yeah.
That's
No, so
good.
I definitely had that where I had the pain, and then I couldn't figure out how to stop it, and then I don't know how it stopped. After a couple of days, it'd be really bad. I don't remember what I did, but then it would be fine. Whether it be a night out, like change
And
my
your mind
brain.
didn't go. It was just physical, not mental. See, me and mine's all mental. I don't really have anything physical. No
So I
package
have a
ever hit me
brain
physical.
that is maybe just a little bit too practical. That with everything I'm dealing with even my sister with her medical stuff or my kids are dealing with stuff, I don't worry until I have to. I say I'm more about, I think we've talked about this before. I have like a man's brain in a way that I'm like, how do I fix the problem? So I'm always looking
No,
to
I
fix
do
the
that
problem and
too.
I'll worry when I need to worry. So if I go get a test
Yeah.
and they say you got to come back for an ultrasound because we might have saw something, I'm
Oh,
not going to
that
worry
that
until
doesn't
I go
bother me.
back
Okay,
you
that's a
tell
good
me
way
I
to
have
be.
something to worry about. And so I have
Okay.
the same atmosphere with same environment at work. Like I just put out fires all day. We put them out, we put them out, we put them out.
Work never bothers me. Now I will say, if I feel like I'm losing ground at work, which I was feeling I was losing ground at work, and there's a lot of changes where I'm at, so that would be part of it, and that would definitely be like I'm too frustrated. I like to be in control of what I'm doing, like, and I think that would be, and I think you probably experience the same thing,
I'm
with
sure I do. I just
you've got
handle
your
it
sport,
differently. I mean, I may put long hours in to try to keep getting ahead, but I'm never
and
going
you
to
were
get
very
ahead. Someday I
stressed.
will be.
You were
But
very stressed with your job stuff. I
oh,
thought.
I am very stressed with it, but it's not affecting me because I'm just
Oh,
going in and I'm doing it. People are like, how have you not lost your mind yet? How have you not, how's your head not? I don't know.
yeah, but I
Um,
think getting to the point where you're at now bothered you though. Until you've got the position that you
Oh,
wanted,
there
it
was times where I was
easier to
frustrated because
yeah.
I truly believed that I had earned what I wanted. Um, but then it was out of my control. I needed someone else to have the someone else had to make that decision. So I knew I wanted it. I knew I was ready for it. I knew I was qualified. I just needed that position to be given to me, I needed to be appointed. And so yeah, I'm in a good place. And I feel like I worked my butt off to get there, and
That's
I
good.
will
That's
work
good.
every day to still do it. But yeah, so there was a lot of stressful moments last year, but I didn't go on any of this meds because I was stressed. I went on because I didn't like the way I feel. And
Right.
so
There's a difference. I
I
agree with you on that.
feel like women, and there's so many different things I want to say about this, but what I will start about is, I feel good now. I'm not as angry every morning when I get out of the shower and I hear an advertisement about some erectile
Wait a
drug.
minute. Angry? Were you feeling
Well,
angry?
I know I would get no. Listen to the rest of that sentence. I would get out of the shower and I'm getting dressed and I'm listening to I'm listening on the radio, listening to my Sirius of advertisements for men's erectile dysfunction every morning. It was annoying the hell out of me that one man can't get an erection, and they go and they break barriers to find all these medications to help them. Now, you know me, I am a lover of men. I have no issues with men, but God forbid they're uncomfortable in any way, shape, or form. Let's let's throw all this money at science and let's fix this because they shouldn't feel uncomfortable. Whereas women, we start this nonsense somewhere between 10 and 13, maybe some a little bit later, but between 10 and 13, and we're dealing with our reproductive bodies and everything that goes with them before and after
Honey,
reproduction between 10 and 50, 60.
honey,
And where was all the science? Yeah, yes, maybe they've made childbirth a little bit better over the years or this or
you're
that, and
not
the
one
drugs
to
with
think
that,
that we're
but
putting hormones in our body that's going to cause side effects. You don't think like that.
that's a different conversation, Nancy. The conversation I'm having now is that where is the science to back us up for all these years?
Right. But that's
The men are putting stuff in their bodies to make them happy. I'm
that's
not saying it's good or
temporary.
bad. I'm just saying where was the science behind making women feel better? Our mothers basically started feeling crappy, and we don't know when that started. When maybe it was the year, our mothers in their 30s and 40s cut their hair.
Hmm.
Our grandmothers
Got
were wearing
divorced.
muumuus, and they wanted
Got
comfortable
divorced.
clothes. They wanted comfortable clothes. They wanted comfortable
Took the
hair,
bras off.
the brows off. They didn't care. They basically were like, I'm just giving into old age. Why? Probably because they felt crappy. I feel like it's our generation right now, the Gen Xers, that are like, how come no one has talked about this? How come our mothers didn't talk about this? I couldn't even get my mother to tell me if she had problems getting pregnant until after, I guess, my sister's last one was born. She's like, "Oh, I did have problems." Like, Mom, Rita and I have had problems for 5 kids here, and now you're telling us it was just weird, but it wasn't really her fault. Is they weren't talked about it. Um, the women that came before us suffered in silence. They didn't even know they were suffering in silence because I'm sure their mothers before them was like, "Yeah, that sucks. Yeah." If they even had a conversation about it, which
Wait a
I don't
minute. So
believe
you
that they
have to
did.
listen to Dr. Mary Claire Haver.
Wasn't she on Mel
I'm going to
Robbins?
tell you why. Yes,
Wasn't she
she
on Mel
was.
Robbins? Then I think I did
Yes.
hear her. I just didn't realize her
So
name.
let me tell you why. When she was in med school, she tells this story. It's a great story. Just to what you're saying. When she was in med school, a student, maybe a resident actually, they would come in and say, "We have one out there." "What do you mean you have one out there?" "We got a WW." "You got a WW? You want to go? Do
WW.
you want to go? Who wants to be the trainee to go out and take care of the W?" The whining woman.
Stop it. But that
The
doesn't
whining.
surprise me.
Well, that's what I'm saying to
Because
what you're saying. So,
yes.
yeah. Oh, no, no.
So
But
when I went to my own doctor, somewhere in this August, September, I forget when I went there. And so she had an intern come in. And I don't know if I told you the story or not. She had an intern come in. Like, she's like, "Do you mind if the intern meets with you first?" "No, I don't mind." So I listened to her, told her what's going on. Her first reaction was, "Well, we don't usually prescribe testosterone." I was like, I didn't ask you
you
for
ask for that?
testosterone. Like, I
No.
didn't even ask for that. And I said, "I'm telling you right now, I don't feel right. And here's what I believe is happening." Well,
And she was a young
February.
girl, a young trainee.
She was young, but let me finish. So she said that. Then she starts talking about, I don't know, loops and shit. And I was like, I didn't say a single
What?
thing to
Talking
you
about
about
what?
my sex life. I didn't say anything about
Oh,
that. I
lubes, like
said
lubes.
the words
Mhm.
that I said were, "I don't feel right. Here's all the things that are going on. I want something for me." I didn't come in there and saying, "I need this so that I
I
can
have
help my
sex with my
marriage or
husband.
my sex life." Never
Right.
said those words. Not at all. So I was like, okay, she's young, whatever. So she's like, "Yeah, well, she suggested like a sex therapy thing." I was like, "What?" I didn't say anything. I said,
Again,
"Stop,
you
just
didn't say
stop."
that.
And then this other stuff. And I was like, "Okay, whatever." I just kind of blew her off like, "All right, let my nurse practitioner come in. So Melissa, I love very much, comes in, and I say all the same stuff to her. Her first reaction is, "Well, we don't prescribe testosterone." I was like, "Melissa, I didn't ask for progesterone. I didn't ask for testosterone." And then she starts reiterating the other stuff. I was like, okay. And the both of them are there. I was like, I don't know where you guys got this, but I need estrogen and I need progesterone. And I was thought that maybe we could talk about this because I'd like to have an open. And this woman's not that much older than
Now,
me.
had you done research before you went in?
Yes, I
Okay,
did. And so I'm asking her for these two things because I do believe these will help me. So she said,
great.
okay. And so she stressed all these other things. I was like, fine, you can write it all down, but I don't have a problem. That's not what I'm here for. And I'm not here about my husband. I'm here about how I feel. I can tell you all things that are going on. I'm thinking, God, you're not that much older. You're smart. You're a pen doctor. What are we doing here?
Right.
So then she said, okay, so I'll make a deal with you. How about you come back in February? Let me run all your blood work, and
Meaning
if
this
you,
February.
meaning this
Correct.
February, and if because that will be my year, my official year, which I truly believe July was my official year, but whatever. Um, so she said, if you come in February and we run all your blood work, and then I would feel comfortable with prescribing this for you back in February if all your numbers are there. And I was like, okay,
Okay.
whatever. Did my
So,
test,
well, good for
whatever.
you for
Not to
persevering.
mention, I had to get two of everything because she was teaching the intern. And I was like,
Oh, stop.
what's happening right
Oh
now?
my God. Do I
Okay,
need
I
two
don't know how I signed up
internals?
for this.
Do I
So
need
then I
two?
left, and I was just like, I was just kind of annoyed because I was like, well, you didn't even hear me because
Mhm.
sex therapy and loops. I didn't ask for that. That never came up. And I felt like that was a very male-centric appointment from my female doctors when
Oh,
I said I feel bad. It was how can we
fix your sex life.
help someone? Like what? It
Yep.
was just insanity. So I kind of left and I was like, that was friggin' annoying. So I left and then I went to my nurse, sister-in-law, and prescribed the medication. And we got that and worked with the doctor. They sent the stuff out. We chatted for a couple of
I
weeks.
have
The
a
doctor's
question.
checking doses. What?
Why were you there for that doctor's visit if it wasn't your yearly? Because you
No,
were
it was
filling
my
up?
yearly.
It was. I'm sorry.
It was
Okay.
my yearly. So while I was there, I took the time to ask for this. Yes, it was my
Okay.
yearly. Yeah,
Got you.
so I needed all that. Hmm.
Okay, so now that's interesting too, because I think you and I at that time had connected and we talked and we were texting back and forth. And I said, an online thing sounds pretty great to me. And I said, I've been going to my doctor for years, telling my doctor, especially right around, I want to say 10 years ago, right? I'm 57. I'll be
Okay.
50, I'm 56.
Okay,
Anyway,
so a new
I was
GYN for 10
probably
years.
right. And
Okay.
she had delivered Delaney, or not delivered. She was my gynecologist for years. She herself did have breast cancer as well. So maybe she was away from all that. But I would say to her, and this is probably 10 to 12 years ago. I don't feel good. I don't feel right. My breasts are sore. This, that. Take a diuretic. Take a diuretic. Move on. I mean, it was a joke. It was a joke. But now at that
Take a
time, don't
diet.
forget, the research was such, okay? The research was such that these HRTs were directly contributed or correlated, whatever the words are scientifically, to breast cancers. And that's something that would make you go, oh, I'm gonna stop you right now. We don't have anything
Sure.
to do for you.
Yeah.
So when I had gone back and forth with you, and I reached out to this online too. I thought, let me check it out. In the meantime, I had my appointment, which was my yearly. I went to my doctor that I've gone to now. Ethan is 20. My son is 20. He'll be 25 in the summer. I've been going to this other doctor who's also in the same practice for probably 26 years. She's known me,
Okay.
obviously before menopause. So I said to you, there is no way this doctor's office, I've been saying the same thing for the last 7 years on my forms, hormonal issues, this, that, but brushed over, brushed over, brushed over. Sat down, and within she did my exam. She looked over everything that I had done, my mammogram, back and forth, and she goes, I'm going to prescribe HRT. I went, what? Like, whoa. I said, I'm going to stop you right now, doctor. I'm going to stop you right now. I've been coming for years. Never. She goes, listen, they have done major research. We've come a long way.
Yeah,
I
that's
said, then I'm going to stop you again. And I'm going to ask you a very personal question.
okay.
Would you take these? She said, absolutely. And now I don't know how old she is. I could certainly find out. Certainly not my business either. She could take them probably even her age. The benefits are better when you're closer to actual menopause or before. So if
Hmm.
you listen to Dr. Mary Claire, she'll say if you're a 39, 38-year-old woman who's starting to experience the drop in estrogen and all those things, those beautiful little things that come with it, you can start low dose estrogen, progesterone, whatever it is, HRT at that time. And you're going to prevent a lot of issues, heart disease, cancers. You're going to prevent osteoporosis. These things, there's not just the benefit of stopping the hormonal flux and hot flashes.
Yeah.
There are a lot of health benefits that they're catching with this too.
Okay. So why are you hesitant now when you say you
I
don't think it's
still,
for you?
I still am not 100%. I
Is
feel like
that because of your worrying? Just because you are a worrier?
I am the type of person that I have to be able to make decisions that I can live with. In other words, would I be that person if I knew that I made a decision A and then decision B happened because I made decision A? So in other words, I choose A and B is catastrophic. And right after A, logistically and logically is B. And
Mm,
did I have effect of that? Did I choose to do it? I've been one of those people. I'm a very level-headed person. I am also a solver. I'm a get it done person. I'm also the type of person that I think things through. I think 5 steps down the road. I'll say to Pete or anybody in the family, you do an XYZ, you know what's going to happen when you do that. Like this is, I'm always thinking ahead, too far ahead, too far ahead. That's an anxious
maybe.
person.
Maybe
That's
okay.
anxiety.
Yeah,
That's
no,
anxiety.
it
But I
absolutely is.
also
It
am a
absolutely is.
planner. I'm also a big time planner. Like I think that if you do this here, you should do this there. Like I do, and and I've had people say the same thing to me. You think like a man, which I don't know what to think when I think like when Dr. Friedman, one of my good friends, is always saying to me, you think like a man. I go, what does that mean exactly? What do you
Well,
mean?
no
I'm not whining?
nonsense and just
I'm not
not.
complaining?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I
Anyway,
don't
so
know.
the bottom
Men are
line is I
complainers. What are
don't
we
want
talking about?
to be sure that right, what are we talking about?
Have you
So
seen a man with a cold? Are you kidding me?
yeah, right. I don't think like that.
No.
Um, I'm more catastrophic than that. My arm's going to fall off.
Oh,
So I
wait,
think
so you're worse than a man when you have a
in that
cold, but
way,
every other time
okay,
you're just like a
don't
man.
listen. If I have a cold, the flu, anything, I'm completely fine. But
Okay.
my
Yeah.
arm's going to fall off. So I think that for me, I just have to be sure that I have dotted all the I's and crossed all the T's, that I'm making the right decision. So I have a few more things I want to do. The next step is to speak with some of the physicians I work with that are actually doctors that work in women imaging and
I'd
ask them, have
love
they
it. Yeah.
seen women that have been on this for the
Okay.
last so many years? Have they seen an uptick? Do they believe the research? Do they believe that they're safe? Out of I think there was like 3 out of 10,000 women, and then HRT, maybe progesterone and estrogen combined, or it's now up to 8 out of 10,000. So you talk about five additional or so many additional cases for every 10,000 that could be attributed to the combined therapy of progesterone and estrogen.
Yeah, I'd like to see a really, really good study. So don't just say you had that much more. Like, what about the women who stopped with the estrogen and they lost it all and didn't do the treatment? Like, there needs to be
They
a
showed them
side
side
by
by
side
side.
comparison.
They showed them side by side.
I would
So
love to
there's
see it,
placebo.
and it'll
There's
be in our
placebo.
lifetime.
So
Yeah.
what I did was I did, my old chat GPT, and I think I had sent it to you too. I did a lot of research on it, and it did a side by side comparison. And, women that were on a placebo for a certain period of time, for blood clotting, for heart disease, for, breast cancers, for all other things, not just, what we're taking it for. So it was very interesting. You could see some correlation, but not enough, not enough, very small amounts of connection. So you weigh it out. You weigh it out. I mean, and that's where I'm at.
So I believe in quality of life, and I know that the women that came before me, my family, have probably been miserable. And I'm going to get to all the ones that are older than me and probably have not had this discussion. So I feel like I'm going to have a conversation with them all. But I do feel like women suffer before me. I am not going to suffer. If I want a good quality of life. So not that I want to cut my life short because I want to be here for a very long time. My goal is 112. I've said this before on podcasts. I definitely want to live to 112. That's my number. Um,
Here's to
if the
that.
HRTs cut it off by like 10 because my side effect, while I'm here, I want my life to be quality. And I didn't let it get bad enough. Um, because I knew that I didn't like the way I felt. But again, like I said, no one, you say you maybe noticed, and I'd love to hear what those comments are. I don't know how you noticed when my own husband didn't notice. Um, and my kids didn't, but then when I point out things like, oh, okay, because I
Yeah.
can go to extremes, but I never lashed out at anyone. I wasn't moody. I was still my same person. I felt like it was all just me and what I
You
noticed.
asked me a couple
And I want
questions
a good
along the
quality.
way. You asked me a couple questions, and we don't need to even bring them up. But you asked me a couple questions along the way, and I thought, oh, that kind of is an indicator that you're probably thinking these damn hormones. Now, I mean, not horrible, but the damn hormonal changes. So I
But
get
like, what
it.
kind of question?
Well,
What
one
do
of the
you mean?
questions one of the questions you did ask, and this is ironic because it's a sexual question, but we were at the bar. We were in
Okay,
Atlantic
stop.
City.
So we can't, no more. I know down Atlantic City.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So, and you asked, like, what do you do? Or what do you
Yeah.
think? Or what, and I had said to you, I'd take it upstairs.
Oh, but that wasn't this though. That was
Okay.
not this.
Okay. Okay.
Because that was
I
a
think
couple of years ago. That was not this. I remember that conversation. I don't want it on camera.
Hey, honey, I think it's great.
Um, but no, no,
Still
that
take it
that had
upstairs.
nothing to do with this. These symptoms that I had were completely different. Now, maybe
Fair
that
enough.
was the start, but I didn't know it. But that
That's what
wasn't
I thought.
this.
That's what I
My
thought.
last 6 months, those August through November, maybe May, June through November, like they were
Okay.
getting progressively worse.
Gotcha. Okay. I relate.
I mean, I'm trying to find a way to really pinpoint it for the essence of Danny. Um, it's really
Uh-oh.
kind of funny conversation because you know how I am about my
No
my
judge.
athletes
Should
and
we,
my
let's put it
sport.
in let's do no judge. You want this in our no judge? No judge?
Um,
I
no,
won't
I
judge
don't know.
you.
I
I
don't know.
won't judge you.
No, no, it's not even a no judge. I mean, I guess it could be, but it was just like I knew something was wrong when I wasn't following Nick as much on Instagram or I wasn't looking for Nick's post. You know what
You got that right. Whoa.
I mean?
What? Yeah,
It
see
was
if
so
you can
funny. I
pull
told
me
one of my
that.
inspectors today about Nick Castellanos posts, his all his like brotherly love posts, and
Didn't do it
like
for you?
what are the Phillies doing, and like losing
Yeah,
my
but he
mind about
wasn't
the
playing
sport.
well. I wouldn't have followed him either.
No, it was not that. I was not following him for his
Athletic
catching of the
ability
ball in right field.
outside of bed.
Anytime I can see Nick Castellanos with no shirt and no shoes, I'm sorry. It's just lovely. If you don't follow him on
How do
Instagram,
you
I
not
highly recommend it.
love
And if
that?
he's not with the Phillies this year, I'm going to be really sad. But I'm all for the greater good with the Phillies. So if that's what that means, but wherever
I'm
he
for
goes,
World
I want
Series.
to take a weekend trip and I want to go wear my Castellanos jersey and watch him play. I'm very happy about JT. I'm glad we have him.
Okay, good.
But that was my thing. Like it was like, wait, I'm not towards the end of the summer. Like I am not lusting after Nick as much as I normally am. Now maybe because he was sucking and the Phillies were sucking, but
I
then
was
I was
gonna
like,
say I think there's a
hmm.
lot of other factors there, but okay, but okay.
Mm-mm.
I'm
No,
not
stop it.
judging.
Look,
All right,
Nick
one
is
of mine.
stuck at baseball. You can't take away his
Oh,
hotness, okay? You can't take away
I
Nick's
don't even know if
hotness.
I. Well, my no judge is kind of stupid when you talk about that. I mean, I love McDonald's French fries. Did I say that before? That
Wait,
I
is
like
that your no
McDonald's?
judge? Wait, were we doing no judge?
I'm into. You were no judge. I'm not
I
judging
didn't
you, but
think that
I'm
was a
not
no
feeling for
judge. I
Nick.
thought that was just me. Wait, so your no judge is you love McDonald's French
Love
fries?
them.
Okay,
Don't
so can
judge
we have
me
an
for any
outing and we
fast
just go
food.
get
Don't call
McDonald's
me
French fries?
DT. Don't call me DT. Don't you dare. Don't you put me in that
Don't
category.
even bring that person into this podcast. But McDonald's fries are amazing.
Oh, good. Thanks.
I don't eat
We're
them
not
very often
judging.
because I don't eat anything else but that there. So
I'd eat a cheeseburger, but I
yeah,
don't.
I'm not a cheeseburger person, but I would say we need a lunch date where we just go get McDonald's
Let's
fries.
do
McDonald's
it.
fries and milkshakes.
Oh man. By the way, I haven't. Okay. Do you want to know something kind of funny? And Ethan will love
Yeah,
this, my
I
son.
do.
I have never ordered a milkshake ever in my life in a restaurant. I've had a McDonald's milkshake, but I have a thing. I have this thing, and don't judge me. Here's another. What
Okay,
is this? The
okay.
whole
I
thing
have
is
a
a
lot of
whole
no
no judge.
judges. All
Hey,
right.
I have an
All
idea.
right. All right.
Let's
Keep
do
going.
an episode of all no judge. So
That would be
I
fun.
will not order a milkshake in a restaurant. I don't know why. I like ice cream. I'll eat ice cream.
But what you have no idea what the thought process is there?
No idea. No idea.
Okay,
And
so
my
Ella and
son and
I,
my husband think I'm crazy.
oh yeah, I mean, it
Fine.
depends on what the restaurant is. Like
I'm doing it.
we have our favorite diner that's in Cherry Hill. So they don't have alcohol. That's the only problem that with them. But one time, funny story, one time a couple of years ago, Ella and I went in there and sat down and I opened up the menu and I was like, I don't remember Silver Diner getting a liquor license. Like, yeah, I'm kind of
Oh.
in tune to that with the local municipalities and liquor license stuff. And I was like, what the hell? So the waitress came over and I went, when did you guys get a liquor license? She goes, we didn't. The menus were printed up wrong. And I was like,
Oh no way.
because I opened it up because Todd doesn't mind diners, but the reason why he doesn't like to go to diners is because he usually
You have a
can't have a
drink.
glass of alcohol with our
Make
dinner.
sure. Yeah.
And this diner, everything is farm fresh to table for a
Ooh,
diner. So
yum.
I'd love to take you there, and then we have to do drinks afterwards. But
Yes.
anyway, that is the
I
only
love a
place we ever
diner.
order milkshakes. So Ella and
What do
I
you
go
order at
there.
a
We
diner?
always
What will you um order at a diner?
well, this place always has like they always have such fresh food. Like I could get like guacamole or not guacamole,
Oh,
avocado, like avocado toast. But my
yummy.
favorite thing to get there is like mozzarella with balsamic vinaigrette on a focaccia
Oh,
roll. Like
oh,
that.
yummy. Like a caprese
Yeah,
toast.
yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
yum.
So
That's
theirs are
good.
really good, served, and you get whatever kind of fries, and they have the best fries. They're like probably next best to McDonald's
McDonald's.
because they
Love
very much
them.
like them.
Good.
And Elle and I always get milkshakes there, and we always do like a little, what's it, the boomerang? Because we love Riverdale, and Riverdale always was in the diner and always had milkshakes.
Can't do it.
Maybe
Can't
that's a no
do
judge.
it.
Don't judge
Can't
me that we play this little Riverdale thing. Silver Diner. My
judge,
favorite diner.
judge. No, I'm kidding. I'm only kidding. That's too funny.
But my no judge would have been that every woman that I talk to now comes into my office like and's like, "Hey, so I heard that you went on HRT, and what can you tell me?" I even got a text from Grace's roommate's
Wait. How
mother.
did they hear?
I guess I told somebody, and they told somebody, and they came back to me like,
Oh, I posted it on Facebook that you did.
I honestly, Nancy, I don't even care.
We never do
I
that.
said to one of my colleagues the other day, and they're men, and I have no problem. I spent a lot of time with men. I just went, God damn, I felt that. I felt like tearing up a little bit. Oh, damn, this estrogen works just a little bit too good today. Which they all know. Like I know how old I am, and I know who I am, and I hope that when their wives, because their wives are not as old as I am, get to this point, that they
Now,
would
the
come to me
reason
and talk to
why
me.
I don't tell people and
I
why
don't
I
care.
did tell one person. I did tell
Okay,
one person that I work
I
with
don't
who I
care.
really adore. She's Isabella. I'm going to give a shout out. She watches the podcast or listens to us. She was like, like me, like the fear, like what are you doing? Oh my gosh, it's directly related to cancer
But
levels.
that's when you have to educate people, and I will take every opportunity to educate
But
people.
I'm
I will
still
tell
getting
you.
the research under my belt to educate people.
I
That's
tell people go look at it. People say, "What are you using?" Here's the company I use. So I start saying, I got a random text last week.
so. With your research, did it show that it related to breast cancer at all?
Yeah, there was all of that, but not this new stuff. The way they're dosing it now, the way that
Okay.
the so I'm telling you, Nance,
Okay.
I guarantee you, I didn't get into the weeds like you did. I am not that person. I read several different things, and I talk to people. I definitely didn't get into the full read the medical journal, but I read enough that I felt comfortable with doing this. But
Okay.
also, I didn't like
Good
the way
enough.
it felt, so I'm going to give it a try, and I will
Okay.
keep up on my mammograms, and I will keep up on this, and I will stay on top of all the things that they tell you that you need to do to watch. And I'm not going to be like, "Hey doc, can you take it from here to here?" No, I'm going to go up slowly. But so far, 2 months in, I noticed a difference within 10 days because my ankles and my joints and
That's
everything was
great.
hurting.
That's great.
Um, but when somebody comes in my office and says she heard, okay, what
Now,
do
the
you want to
next
know?
question I
This
have.
is the company I use. This is the medicine this is the dose
Now I
I
have
take.
another
Ask me.
question for you. You're
Okay.
going to the doctor in February.
I'm not actually. She can suck it. No, that's not nice. I love her.
Okay.
No,
Are
I'm not.
you wait, you're not going back to your
I don't
gynecologist?
need to go back. I have the medication and I'm not due back for
You
another
usually
exam.
go to the gynecologist to get checked on a yearly basis. You're not
Yeah,
doing
I
that?
did, but I'm not due in February. She just wanted me to go
Oh,
back so we could run blood work.
oh. I'm
I
sorry.
had a
That was
full
her.
workup. I had a full workup whenever I went last time, and she said, wait till
I see.
February.
So what okay. Now let's
But I've had my
fast forward.
colonoscopy. I'm going to go see my primary. I'm
Well,
following
let me
up with all
fast
my other
forward.
doctors.
When you do go back to your annual
Hmm.
gynecologist visit, which I always go, what will you say to her?
I am going to tell her that she can run blood work if she wants, but I'll probably get it done for my primary in the meantime because I have to go back to her. I'm due for a year there just for a new follow-up. By the way,
Okay.
my primary, I could have given birth to her because she's that young.
Oh
Um,
my. That's
but
interesting.
mm, but I really liked her, and I thought, and she really was harassing me about like my colonoscopy and all the things I haven't done, and I was like, game on. So I did it.
Good for you.
Um,
Well, you're 54, right? And
yeah, and I
Todd's
hadn't even
55.
had one, and I had no real reason
No
not to other
polyps or
than time.
anything. Not that we discuss about
Yeah,
personal issue.
like
Good.
six,
Six polyps. Okay, we
and
got
they
them in.
weren't small, and now I have to go every 3 years. Whereas my
And
husband
so what?
went and said they were like, see you in 10 years. I'm like, are you kidding me?
So me, with my family history, I've had four, and I had never had any. And my grandmother died of colon cancer. My mom's
No, you have
sister.
a, that's a history.
And
Yeah.
so then the last time I went, which was, let me think, I'm doing when I'm 59, I'm 56, 57. I'm doing 2 more years. So 3 years ago, they had found a polyp or whatever. And She removed it. It was small. She removed it. So I go every 5 years. I was going every 5 years anyway because of my family history.
Yeah.
Better to get it done. So good for you. You got it done.
I mean, I'm not going to argue it. So I waited long enough to a couple years ago. I was like, all right, Todd, you got to go first. You go first and I'll go. And then like 3 years passed. And I almost canceled it this time because Todd was going to be away. When I
Now,
said the
why would
date,
you? Because you were too busy, correct?
yeah, for lack
Ah,
of that, I wasn't afraid of the
you weren't
crowd or any of
worried.
that.
You're not a worrier.
I'm not. I was not worried. I just didn't want to
Good
do
for
it.
you.
So then my doctor sent me the kit in the mail.
Oh man,
So I
sorry.
get like I didn't ask for it, but like I guess after certain months I didn't make the appointment. So I get this kit in the mail and I was like, "Oh no. I'd
Yes.
rather drink this stuff and go in for the colonoscopy than play in that." Like,
Oh,
I'm
you mean
good.
the
Do
Cologuard.
it on
Yeah.
my own and I was like, "No," which I'm glad I didn't because I feel like my baseline had to be a real one. So when I told my girlfriend
I
Kathy,
agree.
my medical hero, that I got to move it. Todd's going away, and she went
No, you're
basically she
not.
was like, "Hey, Ass, I work from home. I'll work around it." So and
Love
I
it.
thought, well, between
Love
her and
it.
Ella,
Love
but
it.
yeah, I thought between her and Ella we do, but Ella ended up having school, so Kathy was like, "I got you." Then we went to the Silver Diner
When did you get it
afterwards,
done? I'm just curious. When did you get it done?
December 5th, I think
All
ish.
right, then
It
you're
was a
done.
Friday.
Okay.
So Todd was away. He was in St. Louis, I think. And so Kathy took me and
So you'll
picked me
go back
back
in
up
3 years. You'll go back in 3 years.
3 years. Yeah.
That's okay.
And I will do
Awesome.
it. I mean,
And
these are
you'll
the
do it.
things. So if they said with this HRT, like, hey, listen, you're now at a higher risk for this, this, and this, you got to do this test every year, I would do that test every year. I
Okay.
told you the
I like
extreme
that.
story about somebody who is young ish, like my age, maybe younger. I don't know exactly how old she is, but of a friend who was diagnosed with breast cancer but had already been on HRT. And
Mhm.
it's not a direct link. It was kind of coincidental, but she felt so good on the HRTs that she said, they said she had to come off the HRTs in order to get the
I think
radiation
you
and
told me.
chemo. And
Yeah.
she came back to the doctor's appointment after thinking about talking to her husband and said, I would like a double mastectomy. Is that too drastic? And they were like, wait, what? She goes, I don't want to come off for HRTs. I feel so good on them. I'd rather the double
The risk
mastectomy
benefit, the
and
double
the
mastectomy.
reconstructive surgery than to come off the HRTs. And they granted her wish,
Agreed.
and she's
Okay.
doing well.
Good.
And
How old
so,
is she? She our age?
somewhere around, she's younger than us,
Okay. Okay.
50-ish. I think she's 50, but I think she's still younger than me, but I'm not sure. But she's not that old, and she wanted to do this. And when I heard that story, I just was like, um, I don't know that I would jump to that, but I would tell you, but that I heard that story before I was on them.
Yeah. That's
So I
interesting.
have yet to talk to her personally to know like how bad was it before you went on them because I would like to have that conversation.
Mhm.
I'm very curious. I'd love to hear other people's stories. So right now I'm just the advocate for it. I have a good friend that's been on it. She just turned 50 yesterday and she's been on it for a while. And when she told me
Again,
she was on it, I wasn't there yet. And
mhm.
then, but
So it's
she's like, I
interesting
told
because
you.
do me a favor. If you listen to one other podcast other than ours, um, listen to Dr. Mary Claire, and she
Okay.
has two daughters, and she would propose. She wants her daughters to start it earlier, like 30s, when you start to drop in estrogen, because there's so many more benefits to having estrogen and keeping it at a good level than not. So I mean,
Yeah,
I
why not? Yeah, why have that big dip when if you can catch it earlier or you could monitor those levels, make it a regular thing,
and feel good
that would
for
be
for
amazing.
a while. Yeah, I get it. I get
I
it,
just
Dan.
feel like I'm
Listen,
putting estrogen and
once I
progesterone back in my system. I don't feel like I'm doing anything crazy. If I start doing something really rational, because again, you start to say this earlier, like, you're not worried about putting stuff in your body. Sure, I am. Look, now I'm getting the hiccups from the wine. Um, yes, but it's making my quality of life so much better. Tell me
yeah,
what I need to
me
do to
too.
make sure this isn't harming me.
My brain fog is subsided, not completely, but tremendously.
How long
And
will you go before you say, I'm comfortable? I know you're doing the research, but
I'm
like
doing the
six
research.
months,
I'm
the
going to
brain
talk
fog
with
keeps
a
getting
few of
better
my.
and better.
I'm going to speak with my doctors Monday. I'm going to see them Monday because I have
Okay.
a candidate visiting for them, and I'm going to go speak with them in person. I was going to call them today. I've been so busy with work. My new position is really kind of brought on a different, and I've learned a tremendous amount. I'm really proud of myself. I've learned things that I never thought I'd learn, and I'm doing so well
That's
compared to how I
great.
was. So if I have to, excel or go to another position, or who knows where life will take me, I'm feeling more confident, and I was starting to slip in that. And I think it was attributed also to the brain fog. And I was feeling like I just was not myself mentally. And when
So
you
I'm
start
glad to hear. So how long have you been on it now?
three
Where are we at
weeks,
now?
We're on 3 weeks, starting week 4
Okay,
tomorrow.
3 weeks. So I'm on almost 2 months. So next week
Okay.
will be 2 months.
Okay.
And I'm not going back. Like
I did say I asked my doctor and I said if I want to stop it. She goes, there's no side effect to stopping right away. You might get your hot flashes come back if you had them. You might get certain other symptoms come back if you did. And then you start from ground zero. You have to build up again or whatever.
yeah,
And I said, it's fine.
yeah,
That's fine. And the benefit is better when you start younger, closer to your
sure.
actual menopausal date. So if you
Do
start at
you
65, you may not get the benefits.
so do you take your progesterone at bedtime?
I do.
And I sleep like a rock. And Elle and I got these Aura rings for Christmas.
Oh,
And
I was thinking to get one. I use my other, but I could definitely get an Aura ring.
so I don't want thing on the wrist or any because I like my watches, but it's been interesting to watch my sleep. Like I
Hmm.
am sleeping so hard. Like I dream so much on the
Oh,
progesterone.
I dream
I
every
did dream
night.
I had a little boy the other night.
Oh,
No, that was a nightmare. For one, well, I'll tell you why. One, I don't want a baby at 54. So there's the nightmare. Two,
fair enough. Well, you're in menopause. You're not having a baby.
I'm definitely not having a baby. But I don't know why I had that dream. I don't know what that means. But then the funny thing is, in my dream, I was like, oh my gosh, a
I think you
boy.
get weird dreams. Boy, you
I
see.
get a ton of that. But I was like, he's going to love sports. I'm now going to finally have a kid that like will watch sports with us and go to games with us. And then like literally in
I
my
got the
dream, I
daughter
went,
who loves
nope,
sports.
it's going to be another musical theater major. Nope.
I
Not that
know.
there's anything wrong with
Either.
that. But
Talent.
I
It's
want a
a
kid that
talent you
wants to
two
go to
people
games and
produce.
watch games. But I've
What's
got my
with the
husband.
talent? You know what? Well, your husband has musical talent. I'm not saying you don't, but you don't.
Oh, I do not. No, I do not. No, and I'm no,
Thank
and
you,
I'm
Todd.
completely okay with that. I made my husband, that's our thing. Our sports are our thing. That is our hobby. That is we love to do and we love to do it
Yeah,
together.
I
I
do
don't
too.
really need a
I do
kid
too.
to go
We
do
do
that with
kids
us.
together. We do rides together. We drink a lot of
Mhm.
coffee and a lot of wine. And you got to do something together because these crazy times. And we won't get into any politics tonight, but let's do it. Let's do I think we should do one of those kind of throw at, whatever sticks kind of thing, one of our episodes coming up about what's going on in this world. I I don't do politics, but I do people. And I think if we do
So
people,
I don't think it's all political. I think some of
no,
it is just where's
I
your
think we should do
empathy
people.
and human
I
being.
want to
Yeah.
leave the R and the D on the table and talk people. And
Yep,
I think
I
that's
agree.
fair. I think that's fair. And I think that yeah, I think, hey, uh, now I feel like I can do it level-headed, so
So what I would like to do is so I think that's a really good idea, and we have committed to every other Wednesday to record.
yes.
They're on the
Stay tuned,
calendar.
people. Stay tuned,
So
people. Me too. It's on my calendar too.
I would like to do a follow-up of this. We don't have to do it in 2 weeks, but I think that in like a month, even if we don't do a whole episode on this, we need to do like maybe a little follow-up from previous episodes. And I'd like to hear a follow-up of where you are with the HRTs because I mean, honestly, my no judge would have been I want to be an alloy representative. I should have brought the little bag down and because I can go through my insurance, but I need a physician locally to prescribe it. Well, maybe my
Well, my
primary
doctor
will.
prescribed it. It costs like a third. So when
Yeah,
I
so
saw,
mine
not
was
that that matters, alloy was probably like 120 versus a $30 pay or a $40 pay with the and whatever. It wasn't about the cost.
no, it wasn't. But when I'm
I
talking
didn't
to
even
people,
have
like
a
I said,
chance, Dan. I didn't even have a chance to use the online because I got my prescription from them,
that's
and
amazing.
within 2 weeks, I went to my doctor, and she said HRT. I went, what?
So that's
I'm
huge.
sitting there sitting up
That's
with the paper
no,
crate across
that
my legs, going, what?
did you just say what? No, I think that's
What?
huge. I think that's huge because I said to my husband a couple of weeks ago, he works for our insurance company, and I had said, "Hey, will our insurance pay for HRT?" And he goes, "Yeah, where are you getting it from?" I said, "Well, I'm getting it from the online doctors or whatever." He goes, "Probably not because their whole gig is that that's where they're making the money." So I told him, and because it averages a little over a hundred
Wait,
dollars a
who was
month.
making the money? The online or your
Yeah,
doctor?
the online is
Okay.
because they're sending you the medication. So you know
Mhm.
you have that one fee where you pay the doctor, and I it was under $100. I think it was maybe $49
It was like
for the
$39 or something. Yeah, whatever. It was
yes,
cheap.
it was something.
49, $49.
Yeah, it was something cheap. But then had no idea once they
Consultation.
put everything in the cart what it was going to look like. And so we did a 90-day supply. I'm about due for my so
No, you're not. You're not due
yes,
yet.
they said I'm due in February, but I that's why I didn't run out because I didn't start it as soon as I got it because I was waiting for my test.
Got it.
I was like, I'm
Got it.
not going to go off of it. I didn't want any medications in my system that I couldn't have for the colonoscopy. So I just waited
Okay.
till the day after. So I'm at 90 days. So I'll be renewed in like 2 weeks. And so it comes out to about a little over $100 a month. So when I was telling my husband, like, well, what does it cost? And I told him, and he was like, are you happy? it's worth it. Like
Yeah. Oh,
knowing what I
it's
was
so
going
worth
through, which,
it.
but again, he didn't notice, but I noticed and I wasn't happy and I'm much happier on it. It's
Good.
worth the money. So if I were going to do a no judge, I would be like, hey, I am now working for Alloy. And if you come to me and you ask me, I'm going to honestly tell you, I have nothing to hide. I am who I am. That's who I am. I am not an emotional person, but when I didn't feel anything, like my kids are singing to each other about sisters, and then Outsiders, my favorite, one of my favorite books of all times, like saw it on Broadway and it was amazing, and I didn't even like fill up. I was like, I was just getting a little bit worried, so I thought, well, I'm a little bit worse off than I thought, but because I tuck everything down, I think I was blowing a lot of stuff off. And it wasn't until I started it that I started to realize, oh, my ankles don't hurt. Oh, I don't feel like I have arthritis in my hands. Like
Yeah.
there's a bunch of stuff. I don't have trigger finger anymore, which
Trigger finger. That's interesting, but
I've
that is
had that
definitely
forever. I've
something.
been dealing with that for like
Your
10 years.
joints,
Like,
so estrogen is related to a lot of your joints in that the estrogen is an anti-inflammatory. So the estrogen levels drop, your inflammation goes up. Then you start to find that your joints become thicker and heavier, and then you've got the pulling, and then you have the trigger fingers, you have the knees, you have everything.
yeah,
All of that is related. All of that's related. So you are absolutely right. Estrogen, and it's interesting because if you see a lot of women at our age, there most of them are like, "Oh my gosh, I think I have arthritis." Well, you might have arthritis, but you also have lack of estrogen, and that's creating the inflammation too. So that's interesting.
that is valuable research. I mean, again, you've done the research. You know me. I
I
read over it.
really
I
did.
get the gist of things. You are a deep diver with every one of our topics that we do. And as your fellow
Try.
podcast mate,
I
I
try.
appreciate that. That's not me. I read enough to be like, okay, this is what I need. I double check it on a couple different sources, then I'm good.
Good.
I don't need to,
Good.
you need more than that. I'm okay. I know me, you know you. Sometimes you don't even know what's going on until you fix it, and then you're like, holy shit, what just happened?
Yeah. Yeah.
So I'm comfortable with it. If a doctor told me you need to come off of it because I'm worried about this, and this, I would say, what preventive tests do I need to check for that on a regular basis? And I will do it.
Fair enough.
And
Fair enough.
I
See,
would be really
and
good
that
at
I admire because but see, I also grew up in a very anxious environment. And for whatever reason, there wasn't like any health issues or anything crazy that happened. It's a lack of control.
it.
So
Yeah.
when you can't control certain medical things you can't
Yeah.
control. So
Yeah.
there's
So
where
there's
my
no
A
controlling.
equals B. A
Yeah.
equals B. So okay, can I control it? That's where my worry comes in. So wait a minute, I can control it. So that's what pushes me to do the research. So I am still on that journey.
Yeah.
It's not
I'm glad you
resolved.
started it though.
Yeah.
I'm glad that
Yeah.
the brain
Yeah.
fog is gone
Well,
and let's
I
see what
mean,
else.
I wasn't likable. Let's admit it. You didn't like me.
I never said that. That's in your crazy head.
Oh, yes, you did. No, I'm only kidding. So
Did I?
and you're
Wait,
not,
tell me.
that's
Tell
okay.
me.
Screw you if you don't like me. No, I'm
Oh,
only
I
kidding.
did
I
never
love
said
you.
that.
I love you. So no, I definitely have, I've kind of still, but now once I'm also in the midst in the throes of taking care of a very sick parent. And, and my father, God bless him, is doing very well. And he's thankfully I help him to a point, but my mother is so far gone, and that's
Yeah.
got to be an episode. I think we need that for my therapy, because
I mean, what angle we hitting that from? Because Nance, I
it's
mean,
just watching your
you are
parent die.
so
It's
you're
what
all
it's watching your parent
watching parent die.
fade. If you've been there,
Yeah.
I mean, I admire
It,
that.
it's
It's
it's rough.
hard. It's hard.
But I think if we're going to stay on topic here, think about it as you a woman, like you said, at our age. Think about our mothers dealt with their parents dying and all that. So you go to a doctor and you tell them that you don't feel good. Well,
I'm not feeling
now
right. I'm
you've
feeling
got teenagers or
Get
your
over
kids
it.
left the house or and your parents are getting old. You've got a
Talk to
lot
the
on your
hand.
plate. So, oh,
Yeah, I love
what they did suggest to
WW.
right? What they did suggest, the first thing they said was, "Oh, talking to you now, you don't sound depressed." Because one of the first things my doctor said, or her intern said, or whatever she was that the first thing I would do is we would think about putting you on antidepressant. Are,
They
are you
said that to
fucking
me at
kidding me?
38.
That's I forgot before even the sex therapy they were
Yes.
sending me to that I
Yes.
didn't need that was
Yes.
not even the issue was we normally put women on antidepressants. So you and she goes, but you already sound like you're already there because I was like I'm kind of like dead inside. I'm kind of numb. And so she's like, well, that's what we put in. She said these words. This is what we will put people on antidepressants for to feel that. Oh, so if I wasn't numb, you would have put me like thinking I was like I wasn't a raging bitch or whatever. So you were going to put me on medication to make me You need
Catatonic.
me like this, catatonic,
Catatonic.
so that you could deal with all the shit around your life. When I'm just saying, I know I need estrogen, progesterone, I've done the research, here's what I want. Why can't you help me? Let's wait 6 more months for you to just let's test
Suffer
your level.
more.
I'm gonna
Suffer
tell you
more.
what my fucking levels are right now. I just had the F word on the podcast. There's no kids listening to this.
No,
I
no,
already
no.
know
I
my
never.
levels are. I already know my levels are. They're not where they need to be. I know how I feel. I know me. And so you're talking about
Yes.
antidepressants, you're talking about this. We are in the sandwich generation. You are in a really rough spot as the main caregiver of your mother. That is a lot.
And not a normal mother. Not a
Not a
normal
normal
mother. Not
mother.
a mother who has her shit together. Not a mother that's got any
No,
financial backing. Not a woman that
no.
had her wits about her before this. It's really, really, really hard. And then I took her to her family practice doc, and this is not the episode, but I took her to the doctor, and the doctor just was she's wonderful. This I might make her my own primary doctor. I absolutely love
Will
her.
she give you estrogen and progesterone? Then she can
Not
hook
as a
up with
primary
you.
doc, but my gynecologist will.
I'm gonna get my primary to do it.
I don't need it from her. So anyway, I will say that she literally said, and I didn't need to hear this. She goes, "You're doing an amazing job." She goes, "There are people that have 8 children and none of them." She goes, "Now, don't get me wrong.
I
You don't
understand.
know what that parent did. You don't know the relationship they had, and I'm not
Yeah.
judging," she said, "but I will tell you." I said, "Let me tell you something, Doc. I've been taking care of my mother since the moment I was born. My mother has, and I knew it from a very small age that my mother was not right. I mean, did I listen to her? Yes. I mean, we were always super, super close, and yet she still was so, I wouldn't let her touch me. Don't hug me, don't anything, because I just was, but I knew that that was the right thing to do. So we
Your
do
mother's still your
what we
mother,
do.
yeah.
Anyway, on that note, let's end. Let's end it. Let's
You're like,
toast.
I'm out.
I'm
I'm
out.
out. Before
I'm
this
done.
estrogen makes me cry.
I'm not a crier either. I broke a finger, got shot. I didn't cry at either one of those. Hey, let's have a toast to our friendship, to you, to HRT, if it's right for you.
And to
Coffee,
my
tea,
to my little
HRT.
my little football.
Stay
That
tuned. Oh, I love that. That's so you. That's so you. God,
goddamn
I love
eagle.
that. I love
Goddamn eagle.
you.
Goddamn
So
eagle.
stay tuned. Yeah, I know. I want to talk about
Mm.
that. Damn it. So stay tuned.
Okay.
We will pick this conversation up again soon.
Couple weeks because we're gonna find out how Nancy's doing on
Yeah.
HRTs and if the research has been sufficient.
Yes, I'm not done. Oh, stay tuned. All right. Cheers. Peace out.